Welcome, everybody, to this week's edition of Valpo Baseball Weekly. Brandon Vickery with you. Glad to be joined by the head coach of the Valpo Baseball program, Brian Schmack. And let's look back at this weekend's series against Indiana State. The good news is I think the program has taken step forwards from past meetings against one of the premier programs in the league. Bad news is still didn't come out with a victory. So how do you kind of balance as you look back at the weekend, being happy with some progress that you've made, but also the frustration of not securing any of the wins?
Yeah, didn't get 10 run, which I think had probably the first time that hasn't happened. But, the first game was about as good as it gets, 0-0 going into the ninth inning, and they executed a bunt late in the game that proved to be the winner. So to get a strong start from Colin and take it to the limit and bring in their closer and all, it was good. It was good progress. And, it kind of shows us that we can play with that team, especially. And, they do have our number. They're well coached. They got great players. I mean, so it's the Missouri Valley. Here we are, so it's very challenging week in and week out. So, we're happy with that. Obviously the results didn't come, the next day, the doubleheader. But we hit the ball well, we took advantage. They took advantage of the win too. And some mistakes that we made and hate to say it was a well-played game, but it was an exciting game, I guess.
You mentioned Colin Fields, and I hate to be repetitive asking about him every week, but what was it like to see him perform that way against an offense that came in leading the Valley in batting average, ranked 16th nationally in batting average, and just what stood out to you about him performing against Indiana State on Saturday?
Yeah, he was able to control the strike zone. I mean, up, down, kind of in and out. He had the breaking ball working again, and anytime you're having that combination, it's tough to hit. It just is. It's the definition of pitching. His stuff is good, but it does play up a little bit, with the spin and whatnot. But he's able to, like I said, go in and out and up and down. And again, it makes it hard. It adds extra pitches. That fastball up and fastball down. Sometimes they're two pitches, so now you're throwing three, with the curveball, slider, and the two fastballs. And again, that's difficult to hit. So we need other guys to jump on that bandwagon as well.
Adam Brouk had a big day, a big weekend, and home runs in each game in the doubleheader on Sunday. What can you tell us about Brouk and maybe what he went through a year ago and where he is now as part of your offense?
Yeah, I mean, he's young. I mean, he played his senior season, injured, and then he was obviously out all of last year. So this is obviously his freshman year, and he was struggling early. I think he, striking out more than he wanted to this recent spell, but has kind of tamed that a little bit. And to see him have success, especially with two strikes, has been good. And we're going to need guys to step up and hit. I mean, again, 1 through 9, I think guys are starting to get a little bit more comfortable and confident. And, like I said, entering Valley play, it's only going to get more difficult. So it's a good time for guys to be feeling good about themselves.
Nolan Smith was an important weapon this weekend, coming in 2 of the 3 games in the series. And Nathan Chasey not being available this weekend due to an injury, how important is Nolan's role and what does he bring to your bullpen?
Consistency. He's very important, obviously, and just to have a guy that can come in and not be intimidated about his situation. I mean, he doesn't really care what it is. He just wants to pitch. So, to have that is invaluable. And we probably used him a little bit too much this weekend. It was, I guess the scenario called for it a little bit. So, hopefully we can be a little bit better before that so it doesn't get overused. But, again, we're going to put guys in the game that throw strikes and give us a chance. And he's one of those guys. So, he'll be used a lot going forward here.
Let's look ahead to this coming weekend. What can you tell us about Illinois State's team and what do you have to do to right the ship and get back on track here to where you were winning games a couple of weeks ago?
Yeah, do what we were doing, winning games and throwing strikes and making plays. You know what I mean? I think we had some good at-bats, like I said, this weekend, which is good. But, we can't expect to score, 12 and 15 runs a game to beat teams. So we have to be able to limit the walks. We've been doing a really good job of that. I think we had 14 or 15 this weekend in those 3 games, and that's just unacceptable, especially against these better teams. So throw the ball over the plate, make the routine plays. It's really back to the basics, and if we're going to have any success.
There he is, the head coach of the Valpo baseball program, Brian Schmack, again, back on the road this weekend to take on Illinois State, first midweek game at Eastern Illinois. And for all the latest in Valpo baseball, you can follow valpoathletics.com or follow the team on social media. This has been Valpo Baseball Weekly. It's brought to you by Lakeshore Bone and Joint Institute.